Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. I know this sounds a little out there and woo-woo, and I get it. And I used to think these things too until I started seeing it for myself. I'm a skeptic like anybody else. But when I started seeing this energy in motion and what it can do and how it can support us, it all came crystal clear. So it's no surprise to me that this guest can do things that can support you. One of them we talked about recently, cutting the cord, i.e., ending a relationship or a connection with somebody or something. Today we're going to talk about spells, as in love spells. I'm intrigued. Let's bring her in here and talk about this gifted spiritual practitioner, and she is known as Dr. Love. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How you doing, Steve?
Very well. Very well. We mentioned this briefly when we got together a while ago, but your gifts of being intuitive and spiritual you believe it came from your blood type, which is extremely, extremely rare. Can we talk about that again?
Yeah, I'm still learning about it myself. I always knew I had a rare blood, but I didn't know it had anything to do with my spirituality. And the last few years, because of the internet and more people diving in it, we're recently discovering there's groups of people that are Rh negative. And most of all of them have a spiritual gift, different types of spiritual gifts, but we all have them.
Can you explain why, or is it just seems to be?
I don't know. I really want to know more myself. I just know it's very special. Like I said, there's different people that have different gifts that have the bloodline of Rh negative. My abilities, I am very strong with picking up people's energy, and not just picking it up, because that's one thing. You could pick it up, but I could change it.
And I can get that. I pick up on energy from people. I'm getting better and better at it. I'm intentional. I want to. Sometimes I don't, to be honest with you. But but I feel it. Like I look for it. I'm vibing it. When I walk into a room or I go somewhere, I'm like, I'm just looking, picking up. What am I getting? What am I receiving? Going with my gut. But you take it layers deeper when you say you can change that energy. Can you do it without getting the permission of somebody? Because it's always my understanding that when it comes to this kind of work, that you have to have permission to get in somebody's field or their energy. Tell us about that.
You do. To change their energy, yes, you do have to have permission. But here goes another thing. If somebody gets into my energy, I have free range.
How do you mean?
Well, I told you before I'm special. I told you before I come across a lot of people that are also energy vampires. Oh, yeah. So you're right. So they want to eat that energy because they love it so much. Well, once they're done in my energy because they think they could steal it or they just love it so much, I could change it.
So
it happens.
And I guess that's leading us into love spells, which we're going to get to in a sec. But can you give an example of what you're talking about, how you can change it?
If a person's energy is, and I will use it like this, there's clean energy, there's dirty energy, there's white, and then there's dark, and then there's layers in between. Okay? We're made of both.
Okay.
I don't believe they're just a good and a bad. You have access to both. I have access to both. We both do. Some people, humans, some don't know how to tap into the light side. Some just are carrying dark and negativity, and they don't know how to even reach the white side. They never even experienced it even growing up. So what I do for them, because I love white light, I change it with my energy. So basically, I put a little sugar in it.
Okay.
So I know how to create the sauce. And when I send positive vibes to them to change their energy, they feel it. And they feel it in their life. And things just start changing automatically, from jobs, opportunities, love. They get the recipe.
So let's say somebody is doing you wrong. They're just, you feel they're just not good people. That's it. And could I identify who that is and you send positive energy just to change their negativity?
Yes, because I'm an alchemist.
Say that again.
I'm an alchemist. I could take bad energy and change it into good. I've been doing that my whole life. People send me, and growing up, people would send me the evil eye. Yes, I believe in that. People would send me bad energy, and I would change it into good.
I haven't
So I
heard
would
that
take
term evil eye in so long, by the way. It's been a while.
it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there. I didn't used to believe in it myself, to be honest with you. I just thought it was like, why is everybody carrying that charm? What's that charm for? It's more than just a charm. You don't have to believe in an object or believe in a charm or believe in anything. I could do it myself. You could do it yourself. You could be around somebody and just be envious automatically, and then they receive the evil eye. It's all about intention.
So I had to Google, and Rh negative, only 6% of the world's population have that blood type.
That's me.
Wow. Do you know anybody else with that blood type?
No, I do not. And I never met one yet, but hopefully I will. So no one in my family has it. None of my siblings, none of my relatives, no one. No one.
Does anybody else in your family have what is to believe to be intuitive powers, high level of spiritualism?
My grandmother used to dabble in with tarot cards, but that's as far as it ever went with my generations.
Do you believe in tarot cards?
I do, but I don't like to use them because they're like a Ouija board. You have to respect them. Anybody can. I'm very sensitive, so I'm very careful about the tools I use. Different spirits can come through that you don't want to communicate with. Not all spirits are good.
I bought a deck for the first time, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. And every once in a while, if I'm wondering about something, pondering something, I'll pull 3 cards just for fun, see what it has to say.
Ooh.
There's no harm, I believe. There was one time where I wasn't expecting, the card actually said no. And I didn't expect it to say no. So I was like, all right, it's on my radar. I'm not like changing my life, but it's like, okay. And the cards I got are very simple, kind of dumbed down. They call them angel cards, but I believe they're tarot cards.
Those are nice ones.
Yeah, they're very positive. But easy to understand. I don't have time to go to the book and read, 18 paragraphs on what the
It's art. Oh, believe me, Steve, it's art.
Oh my God.
It's art.
No. And especially, I guess it's tarot cards, have, the Cup of Swords and the blah, 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 blah. No. That's not, I'm just doing it for fun. Almost like opening a fortune cookie. And I wonder what it says.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see what it says. I do that too all the time. Yeah.
So let's go into love spells. Explain.
Okay, so I want to set this out there. We're not just putting a spell on somebody that is okay. So a lot of people's like, I don't want that person to be forced to love me. We don't do that. I don't do that. When I say we, I'm meaning me and my spirit guides. We don't do that. If you're not a good match for each other, I'm going to tell you because I could read the energy. Okay? The individual will usually give me a picture of the person that they want to reconnect with. I will meditate with my spirit guides. If they are not a good connection, I will let them know. If they are a twin flame or they do have a soul tie, that's when we go forward with the reconnection love spell. Okay, so it's not forced. It's just reconnecting what was originally there that should have grew.
I have to process this because it's if you deeply soul search, that person's not a good connection for you. You don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit it.
No, a lot of times they get the answer is no. And a lot of times they still want to pursue it. And that's on them, but I'm always honest.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you would detect that, I've been in relationships where, yes, it was fun and it continued, but I knew halfway through the journey, this is not, a long-term, you just know, unless you're fooling yourself. And I guess you get to a certain point in your life where maybe you pick up on the energy and it's like, no, that's not good. That's not good.
No, it's not. But the heart wants what the heart wants. And if the person or party still wants to continue on with the love spell, we still do it.
Yeah. I again, on your end, if it comes back as this is a potentially good match, and maybe other things out in the way, whatever it is, that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And there is a lot of things that get in the way. Sometimes it's the career or a
yeah,
third party,
mm,
or just the person wasn't ready themselves.
yeah.
They were holding back a lot of issues, which also I combine that with a cord cutting. Sometimes I have to help the person party cord cut from any addictions that they had, sometimes even mental illness, in order for them to be able to be free, to be open to a relationship.
What happens when you do a love spell? What are you actually doing? How do you perform it?
I do it several different ways. It all depends on I even come into cases where, and this does happen quite often, where I'll give you an example. Let's say a female wants to get her ex back, but he's already hooking up with his baby's mama. I'm just giving you a quick example.
Mm-hmm.
We go further and we find out the baby's mama done some voodoo hoodoo. Says yes, girls do it. It happens. So I have to undo what they done. Even if they just put a trap on him, sometimes we have to undo what was done in order for him to come back.
Wow.
It gets deep. It gets real deep.
But you would know if something's up, and have there been quite a few times where you've said to somebody, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it. It's pointless."
Yes, there has been times that I say that I'm not going to lose my energy, because I'm not the only spiritual person in the world. There is people that harness dark magic, voodoo, and I respect all the arts. But you can use energy for good and for bad.
What's your success rate on the love spells?
About 95%.
Wow. When it's supposed to work, we'll call it that. When it's
yes, when it's supposed to work, it works.
Yeah.
When it's supposed to work, it works, and the person has to believe in it, because it's not just my energy that's going into it. I don't want that person. I'm not in love with that person. Let's say for you, for instance, you want to get an ex-girl back. You got to want this too. It's not just me. Hey, Steve, come on, let's do this. No, you got to want it. You got to say, I do. I'm open. I do want to be back together with her. We have unfinished business.
It's interesting, the unfinished business, how you define that. Not you, but just in general. What is, what has been left there? Interesting.
Here's the thing. If you're still thinking about that person and it wasn't a bad cycle and y'all both have to go your own ways for reasons, you have unfinished business.
But
if you're dreaming of this person just keeps popping in your daily routine, you have unfinished business. You have a soul tie.
Interesting.
Maybe they need you to help them with something. Maybe you were brought into their life just to help them. Maybe it's not always romantic.
And I totally get that. I really do. And that goes to the phrase, people are in your life for a season or a reason.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've started to analyze what those ties and connections are. And, very quick story. Was with somebody for like 6 months, 2 years ago. And it was interesting. She was a little crazy, but it was all good. She was younger than me. It was fun, and we supported each other. And I needed radiation. I had minor skin cancer, and it was pretty rough. Like it was, like look how you walked out of a fire. And I remember one day she came walking in, and she's like, "Oh my God, your face! Oh, let me take care of that. Let me put the dressings on." And then I had the epiphany. Oh, she's a nurse. She was there for that reason, and I helped her along with some things as well. And that ended like a couple of months after that. But that was the reason. That was the reason.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you think.
People come and go out of our lives. We enter people's lives at certain times, and it is to balance. It is to help. There is reasons that we cannot see or explain. It happens to me all the time. And I'm a spiritual person, and I don't know why it happened, but I know it had to happen. So sometimes you just got to let go and go with the flow.
Yep. So what if somebody that you want to be with, they're just not ready? They're just not ready. So if you do a love spell, how is that, or is that going to change it?
That's interesting. That's what I was saying. I go into the party and I pick up on their energy. And I find out if there is childhood wounds, if there's any trauma from a last relationship, any abuse, any Sometimes there's even drugs involved. Whatever it may be, we try to clear out the problem from the person. I'm all about rebuilding the individual and making them the person that they want to be.
So
once they get clear,
yeah,
then we could do the reuniting.
Interesting. Which is the right way to do it. It's like you go to the root cause instead of, magically coercing them to get back with the other person.
No.
There's a reason they're not.
No. I mean, we could do that, but it's going to fail later on.
Right.
It's going to fail later on. I mean, you'll have that person back temporarily, but they're still the same person. They're not fixed.
Now I see why they call you Dr. Love. Seriously. Seriously. Because you go, here's the problem with today's, medicine, doctors, all of that. When you go to a doctor, traditional doctor, they throw you a couple of pills and it takes care of the symptom. They didn't go to the root cause.
No.
And that's what we're talking about here. If somebody is not connecting with somebody else, but that somebody else feels that it should be happening, why? What's holding them back? And you uncover that, you find that out and fix it if you can. If you can't, then no spell's happening.
Exactly. If I can't fix it, I'm like, I can't fix it. I've had cases where they're upset, like, well, force it. Okay, I can force it, but they're not going to be the way you want them to be. Don't you care about the individual? And I have had selfish clients that don't even care about the individual. They just want to win them back from a third party. I mean, that happens all the time too.
Okay. I never thought of that. Yeah. You just want to be the winner. Doesn't mean it's going to be a great relationship.
And they don't care. And a lot of people don't care. They don't care about the outcome. They just want it to happen.
Yeah. And that's almost like a deep down inside a control thing. Like, I want to bring them back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's a tough responsibility that you have.
It is. And as long as I'm very clear with my spirit guides and I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell them, but if they still want to do it, they're human. I can't. It's up to them,
Wow. How do we find you? How do we locate you? If somebody's looking, this resonates.
Go to my website. So it's drlovejennifer.com.
You said you have a new website, right? I have to go check it out.
Yes.
drlovejennifer.com.
Yes.
Cool. Great talking with you today. I had no idea where we were going with the love spell. And again, I said at the beginning, this is going to be a little, woo-woo, whatever. Now it's very real and understandable because it's not like you're, all right, I'm going to No, you're energetically connecting with the other person. Yeah. And figuring what's going on, which is, which is energy.
There's manipulation in it. We change it.
I got it. But it's energy healing.
Yes.
In a way, it's energy healing, which big fan of. Really cool. Thank you so much for being here today. Learned a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Looking forward next time we get together.
Thanks.
Same. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.